tragedy that otherwise would have been preventable. As a union, we have stood and believed that this strike will have ended in the first day, or rather in the longest 1 week, had the county government been responsive enough to release the money held for doctors for over 7 months. There's no way county government will expect doctors to be at work when their salaries are not paid, when their health care is not catered for, when the salary deductions are deducted but are not remitted to the institution that they should be. And that's why today we are asking the leadership of Kiambu County, the former president, the legislators, the church leaders, and to the business community, that if these future generations, these lives are being lost, to who will we lead, to who will we focus to who will we talk to? A reality is something has to be done. We are asking the president of this country that Kiambu residents supported you during the last elections. The Kiambu residents deserve the health care just like all other Kenyans enshrined in the Constitution. A time has come that the Kiambu County need to be dissolved because the governor of Kiambu on Wamatangi may not be aged by the debts, even if all the residents of Kiambu wallow in debts or wallow in misery, because he doesn't care and has demonstrated so. But these Kenyans believe in you. These Kenyans trust you. Something has to be done. If there's any county that ought to be taken back by national in terms of health services, it's Kiambu County. The county has still been charging patients in the primary health care services. The county has still refused on the issues of the nurse equipment. It's a reality that something has to be done for the residents of Kiambu to get the health care. As a union, we have declared today that from next week, Wednesday, we'll be dramatizing the painful loss of these lives. We will be on the streets with all our members and with all the doctors, and we are asking the political leaders, the MPs, the MCAs, and the residents of Kiambu that you are the ones who elected this Mandarin. You are the ones who elected this person who cannot understand the plight of the Kiambu residents. A time has come for us as a people to recall the governor back home.
I mean, that's a worrying situation right there from Kiambu County. 130 infant deaths. That's a huge, huge number. And we hope that the medical standoff will come to a close end. Now, President William Ruto has announced the government has waived the National Identification Card replacement fees to ensure no one is denied the opportunity to register as a voter. The president explained that the fee was introduced to discourage abuse of the service by citizens who, after receiving the national IDs for free, would lose them and replace them regularly. The head of state said the free replacement window will remain in effect until after the elections.
Maneno ya kitambulisho. PS wangu wa mambo ya vitambulisho yuko area. Mambo ya interior, PS wa interior yuko hapa. Tayari tulisema kupata kitambulisho mwananchi hapaswi kulipa pesa yeyote kwa awamu ya kwanza. Lakini tulikuwa tumesema wewe ukizembea upoteze kitambulisho. Sijui ukifanya kazi gani. Tukuseme ndio usiwe mtu yako unapatiwa leo unapoteza kesho. Unapatiwa leo unapoteza kesho. Tukasema ulipe. Lakini kwa sababu mmeuliza, wacha niende nifikirie hiyo maneno, pengine tuondoe.
Elsewhere, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has declared that President William Ruto is on a guaranteed path to a second term, crediting the Kenya Kwanza government's bold and strategic infrastructure investments for transforming the country at an unprecedented pace. Addressing residents of Teso North constituency during a women empowerment program hosted by area member of parliament Uku Kaunya, Speaker Wetangula said infrastructure remains a central pillar of the administration's economic turnaround strategy. He confirmed that the government has already set aside funds in the current budget for the expansion and construction of the Malaba-Nairobi dual highway, with works already underway in Rironi.
Naona hata wala alibishana nao, bado wanamrushia vijiti, wanamrushia mikuki, lakini sisi tumemwambia focus on building and transforming Kenya. That is what the people of Kenya gave you the mandate to do. Don't look at any interruptions. Those will always be there. Don't worry about any irritations. Those will always be there. Don't worry about the naysayers. Those will always be there. And don't worry about malice and wicked thinking of different people, because those will always be there. Focus on changing the lives of Kenyans. And that is exactly what the president is doing. Mutamuunga mkono? Mutamuunga mkono? Mko tayari kupokea mchango yake?
Serikali imefungua ama watu ya IBC wamefungua, nyinyi wateso mjiandikishe, Wakenya mjiandikishe. Jambo la pili, mambo ya SHA iwe ni lazima kwa sababu serikali imeweka pesa ya matibabu ya bure.
Leo tushikane kitu kimoja, turudishe kura zote kwa TUTAM ya William Samoei Ruto. Iko jamaa alikuwa anatuambia tukienda kutafuta miradi, tukienda kutafuta project. Wewe Mary, sasa nyinyi mnatusumbua, mlileta kura ngapi? Alikuwa anajaribu kugawa hii nchi. Tulitimua yeye. Tulifanya mzuri, hatukufanya mzuri. Saa hii unaona sasa Kenya yote inapata miradi. Kwa hivyo mimi nawaambia wa jamaa wa opposition, hapa Teso Kusini hatutaki nyef. Hapa Teso North hatutaki nyef.
Also, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has assured tea farmers of the government's firm commitment to eliminate cartels in the sector in a bid to increase bonuses following depressed pay this year. Professor Kithure Kindiki said farmers received lower bonuses this year, despite the sector reporting notable growth over the last 2 years because of reforms instituted by the administration. The second in command spoke on Saturday when he graced Kipkelion East Economic Empowerment Engagement in Londiani, Kericho County.
Tunajua ya kwamba iko na shida kidogo ya mambo ya majani chai. Kwa sababu ni kweli tulipata mapato, nyongeza ya mapato ya jumla. Kwa sababu 2022 ile mapato ya kigeni tulipata ya chai ya Kenya ilikuwa 138 billion. Lakini last year imetoka hiyo 138 billion ikafika 215 billion. Lakini mwaka huu kumekuwa na matatizo kidogo ya ile bonus ambayo inalipwa. Na kuna mambo lazima tuyafanye ili tuhakikishe ya kwamba wakulima wote katika taifa la Kenya wa majani chai wamepata bonus ambaye imeongezeka na ambayo ni sawasawa, bila kujali kama ni mkulima wa Central Kenya, mkulima wa South Rift, mkulima wa Western Kenya, kuwe na bonus ambaye inatosheleza wakulima wetu.
Now I want us to take a look at our feature tonight. As the 2027 elections draw near, the opposition coalition faces increasing tensions among its key figures. Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i, and impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who is now asserting his bid for the presidency. Gachagua's ambitions have sparked concerns about fragmentation within the coalition, as Jubilee Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni warns of the risks posed by conflicting interests. While Gachagua advocates for prioritizing electoral strength, Kalonzo stresses the need for integrity and experience in selecting a candidate. As personal ambitions clash, analysts caution that without a unified strategy for nominating a joint candidate, the opposition could inadvertently ease President Ruto's path to re-election. Our reporter Edwin Simiyu interrogates.
Tutatoa kiongozi mmoja ya kupambana na Kasongo.
Opposition unity faces acid test as 2027 joint candidates battle heats up. At the heart of the jostling are the key figures: Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, former Interior CS Fred Matiang'i, and impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Each has in recent days staked an unyielding claim to be the face of the opposition, setting the stage for what analysts warn could be bruising showdown. The contest intensified soon after Gachagua returned from a 6-week tour of the US.
Mimi naona watu wako na mastori mingi. Ati unafikiri ukiweka picha ya mtu ate kwa social media he can be president. Ati unaweka picha the 6th. That cannot make you president.
Once touted as a kingmaker, the former DP dramatically changed tune on arrival, declaring he was no longer content with playing second fiddle. He wants the top seat. His declaration rattled the fragile opposition coalition. Jubilee Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni openly cautioned that Gashagua's bid was disruptive, arguing his role should be channeled his energy into confronting Ruto, not fragmenting the opposition. But Gachagua was having none of it. Bristling at the suggestion that should fight Ruto only to surrender the fruits of his struggles to others, he fired back sharply.
There are 5 options on how you get elected as an MCA, MP, senator, governor, or president. Option number 1, ground.
That number first mantra has become Gashagua's rallying cry, especially as he leans on the restive but popular Mount Kenya region. Yet his uncompromising terms for negotiation, essentially demanding the flag-bearer slot by virtue of his perceived voter muscle, have already begun to stir unease among his would-be partners. Kalonzo, for his part, has also drawn a red line. Twice a running mate Raila Odinga, the Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka says 2027 is his last shot at the presidency and he won't settle for anything less.
Sisi tuamue kwa kauli moja kwamba kamwe hatutarudi nyuma.
Meanwhile, Matiang'i, though less vocal, has been quietly building his profile as a technocrat alternative, a factor that further complicates the already tense calculations. Political analysts caution that while the opposition may agree in principle on dislodging Ruto, the process of anointing a single candidate is fraught with danger. Each aspirant sees themselves as indispensable and none appears ready to compromise. Political analysts opine that if the opposition is to stand a chance of winning the election in 2027, they have to move as a team, which means they have to agree on a formula for a joint candidate and to move forward. With egos clashing, regional interests colliding, and personal ambitions at their peak, the choice of a joint candidate would easily make or break the opposition alliance.
We will subordinate our ambitions to the interest for the interests of Kenyans.
We shall make whatever sacrifices necessary for this country to make sure, under whatever circumstances, we have one presidential candidate to face William Ruto.
And while Kalonzo says Gachagua has the right to just thumb and the opposition candidate will be a negotiated outcome, they disagree on the criteria. As aforementioned, while Gachagua has maintained the negotiation will be based purely on numbers, Kalonzo insists considerations such as a record of service and integrity, if you have scandals, should matter. Kalonzo has, however, dismissed talks of potential split, saying the united opposition is a meeting of minds of leaders who have determined through their own political parties and some individually to be part of the change the country needs.
Sisi tumeamua tutatembea pamoja vile mmetuona hapa hadi mwisho, hadi tuhakikishe one term has happened.
The developments comes at a time when there seems to be a crack within the united opposition on who will be the flag bearer in the next elections. This has seen forces such as former Interior CS Fred Matiang'i seek other alternative, where he attended the Jubilee Party National Delegates Congress. According to the sources, he is one of the favorites to carry the party's presidential ticket.
Jina gani wamesema? Matiang'i. Wao wenyewe wameamua wanataka Matiang'i as their presidential candidate.
There is, however, bad blood between Gachagua and Jubilee, with foot soldiers from their respective camps throwing barbs at each other. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta, while addressing the NDC, noted that Jubilee Party would fill the candidates for all elective seats. Meanwhile, according to Kioni, Matiang'i has been unfair treated in the opposition and therefore Jubilee decided to stand with him. Gachagua, in ring-fencing Mount Kenya region for his DCP party, has said Matiang'i should seek another party other than Jubilee.
To build even unity and cohesion within the opposition is going to take a lot of maturity, a lot of respect for everyone's view, because we chose democracy, because we are proud of our country, that you can actually belong to a party which has not been chosen for you, by a particular leader that you have chosen to belong to yourself.
Jubilee Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni has cautioned the opposition against repeating the past mistakes in their quest to field a joint presidential candidate ahead of the 2027 elections.
Just like Moi was able to play around with the opposition then, I'm almost convinced, and I see it happening, that these status quo candidates, these system candidates, will be no match to Ruto, for Ruto. In fact, he will play around with all of them. From that mix of 5 or 6 candidates, I'll be shocked, not surprised. I'll be shocked if 2 or so of them are not Ruto candidates. I'll be shocked, given that all of them are status quo candidates.
Kioni, a close ally of former President Uhuru Kenyatta, argued that the choices being made within the opposition risks handling President William Ruto and his path to second term.
What strategies are people like Kalonzo putting in place to effectively occupy the opposition space? I see none. I'm sad to predict a Ruto victory, mainly because the people offering themselves for this are a people who Ruto can very easily deal with using any means.
Interesting take right there about the opposition from Edwin Simiyu on just, what does the future hold for this team who are set to challenge the head of state come 2027. A long way to go. We'll see how it goes. Now, elsewhere, Lamu and Nyamira counties recorded the lowest number of new voters in the ongoing continuous voter registration that saw a total of 7,048 Kenyans enter the voters register in the first week of the exercise by the IEBC. Lamu, Nyamira, Tana River, Tharaka Nithi, Nyeri have been listed, recording 1, 10, 21, 24 and 30 respectively, with Siaya recording 100 new voters. Nairobi leads with 1,597.
Target yetu sana ni wanarika wenye wamepata vitambulisho juzi ama mwenye amekuwa na kitambulisho na hajajiandikisha. Kwa hivyo mkuje tuandikishe kama wapiga kura ndio sauti yenu iweze kusikika.
Na tunaendelea kukaribisha sana wananchi waweze kujitokeza kwa sana kwa sababu ile idadi ambayo tumeweza kupata sasa sio nzuri na sio ya kuridhisha sana, kwa sababu tuna zile targets ambazo tunatarajia kupata. Kama vile kwa mfano sasa hivi tunahitaji kupata watu zaidi ya 21,000 kutoka Mwingi Central ama Mwingi ya Kati ambao wataweza kujiandikisha kabla ya zoezi la upigaji wa kura mwaka 2027. Kwa hivyo tunakaribisha sana wananchi wajitokeze kutoka kwa wadi zetu 6.
The Principal Secretary for State Department of TVET, Esther Moria, and his counterpart Gitonga Mugambi of Forestry shrugged off criticism against the government's score in agriculture and education. The duo defended the Kenya Kwanza administration's progressive efforts in placing education at the heart of the country's national planning and development strategy, where through TVET noted most youths in the country are getting jobs locally and internationally. Speaking in Mutithi, Mwea, Kirinyaga County during Agitech Expo, they say the government has plans to assist farmers in value addition to benefit from their produce.
And the reason they agreed to fund my students is because I told them that we are training those students, and we have shown them that student, we are training him or her to come and work here. So they will get back their money, isn't it? Yes. So please, my plea to all of us Kenyans. On Monday, me and Mugambi and all our colleagues, we were ordered, we have no choice, to be mashinani on Monday, to go and talk to Ngao and all the administrators, to be able to tutolea the young people from mashinani, ndio wakuje wachukue pesa to develop themselves. Yani, we have to tell people to go literally and tell people, well, ujeni tuwapatie pesa.
Within the government we have serious programs which you really need to understand. When you hear there is housing program, please, before you criticize it, go to the government website, understand it. And they apply for Mbomayang. You can own a house. What's the problem? Is there any problem if you own a house in Kirinyaga, in Embu, or even Nairobi? Apply. Talk negatively when you are inside there. Are we together?
Ngome elders from Mbere community in Embu County have dismissed the government's push for alternative dispute resolution in the protracted Mwea settlement scheme land row, terming the initiative a waste of time and an affront to rightful beneficiaries. Speaking at a press briefing at Umau grounds in Mbere South constituency, the elders maintained that the land question had long been settled after the government subdivided the 44,000-acre scheme and issued title deeds to beneficiaries. They accused certain leaders of reviving unnecessary mediation processes for their own political interests.
Wale wako na mashamba Mwea wamesubiri kutoka hiyo wakati mpaka wa leo, na ile subiri yao inaenda ikikwisha, na ikikwisha watu hawa wenye mashamba watatafuta namna ingine ya kwenda kwa mashamba yao. Ni vile tunasemanga tu, unajua ukienda kwa polisi kuripoti ati kitu imefanyika na kuuliza imefanyika wapi, lakini ikifanyika wataku
Mwea scheme is spent. There is nothing like Mwea scheme because Mwea was subdivided to 72,032 parcels of land and given to people. Fortunately, serikali haikuonyesha watu the boundaries. Why? It is fortunate because wale wanaishi huko now, because they are staying there imagining if they stay for 12 years, they will have a reason of getting a portion of that parcel. That is not true. Because until they are shown, until Wambere wameonyeshwa mashamba yao, that is the time clock will start kicking for the 12 years. So anything, because what they are doing is they are running out of wherever they are to come and start developing the Mwea parcels. That is the time clock will start kicking for the 12 years. So anything, because what they are doing is they are running out of wherever they are.
To sports, blind powerlifting national trials were held on Friday at the Nyayo Gymnasium, where several participants took to the stage to try earn themselves a spot. The team is preparing for the upcoming international powerlifting event in Turkey. Team Kenya has been dominating in the international competition.
Having powerlifting trials for blind athletes. We are preparing for World Championship that is going to be held in Turkey.
Itakusaidia, utakuwa unasikia tu ukiwa
for almost now the whole year from January non-stop. I think we are ready. We're going to do our best. Tutaenda tufanyie.
All right, we wrap it up at that point this evening. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a blessed Sunday ahead. My name is Cynthia Nanjala.